don't see anybody yet.
I see some players. Okay. Come up to me, Force. There's a clean shot with the Force time scope.
Okay, coming.
If you look straight west, southwest, 240 on the compass. They're at the buggy.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Oh. Startled me. That startled me so good. Wait.
Got one kill.
Shooting west. One kill.
Guys moving west. Guys moving west. Behind a tree west. 2 behind a tree west. Circle's closing. We gotta move.
Yeah,
Dodger.
He's down. Down behind the tree, straight southwest.
13 left. Oh, straight ahead. 240. Okay. Got 2 kills. Oh my god.
Okay.
This is fucking amazing.
Alive. We're gonna have to push towards them.
Oh yeah,
like
fuck.
Straight west.
I'm gonna try to go top of the hill here.
This right.
Oh.
Where?
Behind the rock, by the tree.
I see it. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I see him.
The trees near me.
I'm right behind this guy.
Shoot him.
Got a kill. 5 left. I see. Yeah, kill. Oh my god!
We won! Another one! Alright.
Oh, jeez. And that right there is exactly why PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is amazing, and I highly suggest you give it a look. How's it going, everybody? Force here, and today I wanted to sit down and talk with you a little bit about this game that I've been, safe to say, obsessed with since it hit early access last week. This game is an absolute nail-biter. It is one of the few games that has managed to, without fail, get my adrenaline pumping almost every single match. Now, for those of you who may be unfamiliar with the genre of Battle Royale or Last Man Standing or King of the Hill, whatever you want to call it, let me give you a simple breakdown. You have a set number of players, in this game it's 100, that are all dumped onto a single location. In this instance, it is an island. People will spread out among different parts of the island, and the initial goal is to try to acquire some gear. You start off with nothing. You'll be picking up weapons, mods for those weapons, armor, grenades, and medical kits. You gather all this stuff to try to prepare yourself to outlast the rest of the players in the lobby, with the ultimate goal of being in first place. Outside of that, there are additional factors which will try to force player engagement. Number 1, there are large cities where you will find a majority of those weapons, armor, mods, and all of that stuff. So players tend to gravitate towards those locations, and as such, the more people that are there, the more fights that will happen. There is also a ever decreasing ring around the map that gets smaller and smaller and pushes players towards a central location. Now that location will change every single match. It is randomized, or I guess to be more specific, there's likely an algorithm that will determine where it gets placed, and then that ring, a smaller ring, gets placed within it, etc., until there's barely any space left. If you're outside of that ring, you will take progressively more damage as the match goes on. So this also forces people to a central location. The game flow tends to be like this. You start off by trying to land somewhere where either there won't be a ton of other people, or you're bound to find some good weapons so that you can kill anyone who might be around you. You then spend the next 10 to 20 minutes continuing to acquire gear to try to get the best weapons that you enjoy and prefer for the late game, the best modifications, and prepare yourself with some armor and some health kits to keep yourself healthy. Along the way, you'll probably come across a couple of players who are doing the same, but it is really the end of the match, when you get down to the last 30 or so players, where this game really shines. Because the ring is smaller and smaller, you're bound to run into any of the people who are alive still, and then all of those people will also likely have some higher end gear and weapons, like long range scopes and sniper rifles, so it's even more tense because people who are really far away have a good chance of killing you. And then when the ring gets incredibly small, it is this tense, who can outsmart the other player or players who are still alive and try to get those final kills to make it to that coveted first place. This type of game mode is so dynamic, and it changes, and it's this really interesting condensed experience. The flow of the game and the feel of the game is drastically different at the start than it is at the end game. And because there is a lot of downtime, if you were to watch just 30 straight minutes of Battlegrounds gameplay, I would estimate about 80% of that would be running around and looting. And to some people that might sound mind-numbing, but I would argue that it is those lulls and kind of the tension that is built in that time that make those infrequent frequent encounters with other players that much more intense. Not only because it doesn't happen often, but also because there's so much gravity to the situation. Every time you come across another player, it is kill or be killed. This isn't a traditional shooter where you just respawn and jump back in. You are working for 10, 15, 20 minutes to try to put yourself in the position to kill that one player who you come across. And if you aren't on point with your aiming or your positioning or trying to sneak up on them, you'll just end up losing all of that progress and you'll have to start over again. But I think that's the great thing. Because these matches tend to be only 20 to 30 minutes long, it isn't so much of an investment, like several hours worth, that dying makes you so frustrated and so upset. It's just long enough and the tension and build-up is just so that it becomes incredibly addicting. Like I said at the start, this game gets my adrenaline pumping like few games ever do. Now, you might say that this is no different from any of the other Battle Royale games out there. And there are certainly many similarities. Not only because it's going into the same genre, but also because it's being made by the same person. PlayerUnknown is the one responsible for making the Battle Royale mod for Arma and for participating in the development for H1Z1's King of the Kill. So it's no surprise that there are some similarities, but I feel like there's a lot of things about this particular Battle Royale game that set it apart and make it the one that I've fallen in love with and frankly become a bit obsessed with since it's come out. What I think does set Battlegrounds apart is a few things. First of all, graphics. It looks absolutely amazing, but graphics aren't all that are important. They just help add to the immersion, and it also makes it feel like a fresh, new, exciting experience. There's also the fact that this game is incredibly varied with its environments. We've got incredibly high mountaintops with ruins on top. We've got dilapidated castles. You've got your generic cities, but there's also cities that are underwater. We've got underground caverns, abandoned power plants. I feel like a lot of the other Battle Royale games are pretty simplistic in their environments, but this one has the variety that makes me really interested. That variedness, coupled with the fact that this game is a good looker, it really helped pull me in. But all of that wouldn't matter if the gameplay wasn't on point, and the shooting feels great. Hit registration happens when you expect it to. I think the one thing that may put some people off is that this game aims for realistic ballistics. There's quite a bit of a bullet drop. And then also at further distances, you'll have to lead your targets because there is bullet travel time. So it's not like, say, Overwatch, where a hit scan weapon, if you line up a shot, it's gonna hit there. No, the further away they are, the less likely it is it's gonna hit where your crosshairs are. The small amount of realism that this game adds, on top of shooting that feels good, really keeps me playing. If the gameplay didn't feel solid, I would be just throwing this out the window, because that's ultimately what matters most to me. Now, it's not to say there's not room for improvement. Things can get a little buggy at times. The game is still in early access, and frankly, some of the sounds are all over the place. Footstep sounds are almost non-existent. At one point, they were too loud. Now you can barely hear them. For whatever reason, when you crouch walk now, it's louder than when you're doing regular walking, and I've encountered some instances of getting like stuck in terrain and things of that nature. But like I said, this game is still in early access, and they appear to be making steps towards doing some drastic improvements and adding more content that has me really stoked. Motorbikes will be coming. They're adding vaulting. They're adding ranked rewards and seasonal leaderboards. There's going to be a hardcore first-person only mode. Kill cams are coming. New weapons, weapon skins. They're thinking of adding snow to the game. Additional maps on top of the base one that we already have. This game, in my opinion, has a really bright future, but already as it stands, it is one of the most intense, fun, and addictive gaming experiences that I've had in years. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for me here today. Just wanted to share some of my thoughts and opinions on PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Once again, I think this game is fantastic. I really think if you haven't yet, you should consider giving it a look. There's a lot going for it, and it's got a bright future. Hopefully the developer keeps up with it. I'll probably keep you guys posted with future videos. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you have a good one, and until next time, I'll see you later.